To make a living, a nomadic mother and daughter cross mountains and valleys to pick wild grapes. They do it all just to give the children a little more to eat. This morning, Sagla is in the yard, enjoying tea and the cool air with her children. When you have a lot of kids, living expenses are naturally higher. They go through food and drinks very quickly. These little ones are always asking for something to eat, like a nest of hungry baby birds. Little Yasin gives a friendly wave to the camera, and even gives a thumbs up. He seems to be a very confident little boy. Sagla has already packed her cloth bag. Inside, there's a water jug. She's getting ready to head into the mountains to pick wild grapes. Life in the mountains is always a bit tougher than the outside world, as you rely on what nature provides. If she wants her children to eat some sweet fruit, she has to go into the mountains to get it herself. Today, she is bringing Zaynab along with her again. Zaynab has become her right-hand helper. Not only can she keep up with adults on the mountain trails, but she's also a very dedicated worker. The mother and daughter are the perfect team in the wild. After walking for a bit, they come across a herd of goats on a narrow mountain path. There's a whole group of them. These aren't their family's goats. They belong to another shepherd in the area. At this moment, the mother and daughter have reached a dangerous cliff's edge. Beside them is a steep drop of several dozen meters. They must watch their footing very carefully. To get to the wild grapes, you have to travel a long and dangerous mountain path. Sagla knows where the grapes are. Zaynab follows closely behind her. Sagla leads the way, clearing the path for her. When they find valuable wild plants along the way, Sagla will gather some to take back. This ordinary-looking green shrub is actually an aromatic herb. It's called thyme. The nomads who live in the mountains recognize these valuable medicinal plants. They know which ones are safe to eat and which ones have other uses. They are careful not to pull the plant out by the roots. Instead, they gently pick from the leaves and branches. They only take one handful and stop. When you live off the land, you learn that you have to leave some for it to grow back. Sagla and her daughter continue forward. The mountain path beneath their feet gets steeper. Time and time again, Zaynab has followed her mother and gotten used to these kinds of trails. Almost every day, Sagla travels through these mountain ridges. If she's not picking fruit, she's taking her daughter to go fishing or hunting, or looking for lost goats. The mother and daughter arrive at this steep cliff face. They have to climb up it. Sagla constantly looks back to remind Zaynab, telling her to be careful and watch her step. This is daily life in the mountains. It's just a part of how they live. Out here, adventure is not a surprise. It is a way to survive. After climbing over the steep cliff, the mother and daughter come to a new spot, a steep slope covered in loose rocks. The two of them begin to slide their way down the mountain. For the wild grapes, for their survival, Their journey can take them anywhere, and it never stops. Along the way, loose rocks tumble down with them, making a rattling sound. Zaynab's small body looks especially fragile on this difficult slope. Every few steps, the sliding rocks cause her to slip and fall. She gets back up, slides, and falls again. She gets up once more, repeating this constant rhythm. There are no shortcuts down the slope, and there is no truly safe path. Even though the path is dusty, and she keeps falling, they are getting closer and closer to where the wild grapes grow. Finally, they make it past that difficult, rocky slope. The rest of the mountain path is a little easier. The two continue their journey down toward the valley. This part of the mountain path is still a bit dangerous. The cliff walls are steep, and the rocks are loose. You have to be extra careful with every step you take. Sagla reminds her daughter every now and then. The mother and daughter have now arrived at a spot where there's a mountain spring. The spring water flows out from the cracks in the rocks. The two of them stop here for a drink of water and to catch their breath for a moment. After walking such a long way on the mountain path, Zaynab is incredibly thirsty. Because of the mountain spring, someone has built a reservoir here. A black water pipe also extends out from the pool. This is clearly a man-made setup. All of this shows that, in this valley that originally seemed deserted, people have actually lived and used the water here before. It was probably nearby herders. The mother and daughter have finally reached their destination. This is a whole grapevine, stubbornly growing in the cracks of the rocks. Its branches climb outwards. Bunches of grapes hang down from the vines. They are purplish red and plump. These are typical mountain grapes. Their flavor is on the sour side, with a very wild taste. This type of grape is adapted to dry and nutrient-poor rocky hillsides. It has a very developed root system, allowing it to take root and survive in rock crevices. It's cold-hardy and drought-resistant. These wild mountain grapes are completely different from the good-looking and sickly sweet cultivated grapes we usually see at the market, like Shine Muscat, Kyoho grapes, or Summer Black. They are in two completely different worlds. The cultivated grapes sold in markets are mostly bred by people. They have high yields and huge berries. The flesh is full, and you can get seedless varieties. But mountain grapes are the native inhabitants that have reproduced naturally in the wild for generations. They don't rely on human care and can still live very well. They're not delicate and aren't picky about their environment. In fact, the more barren, the colder and steeper the conditions, the more vigorously they grow. Don't underestimate these mountain grapes. They hold a pretty high status in the grape world. Not only can they be used to make a wild and authentic wine, they can also serve as an ancestral gene pool, providing modern grape varieties with excellent traits for genetic improvement. It's even a super seed bank for disease and cold resistance. It's a hero that can save more fragile grape varieties. Sagla is now getting ready to climb up, to pick the ripe grapes at the top. But after trying for a bit, there just aren't enough footholds here. So she has to give up. Now it's Zala's turn to give it a try. Sagla uses all her strength to push her up. But the surrounding rock face is almost completely smooth. There's nothing to grab onto. In the end, she also has to reluctantly give up. Those plump grapes hanging at the very top. They couldn't manage to pick them in the end. The mother and daughter decide to head back. Although they didn't get a big harvest this time, it's still enough for the children at home to each have a little taste. The mother and daughter wash the grapes, sit down and have a bite. They'll rest for a moment before continuing their journey. After a long morning of work, they are feeling tired. In this vast, open mountain range, a taste of wild fruit and a sip of spring water is all that life is about. Simple, but real. After a brief rest, the mother and daughter continue their journey home along the mountain path. The two of them have finally made it home safely. The children have been waiting for a long time. As soon as they see them return, they immediately gather around, eager to have a taste. In this dry and poor mountain region, life is never easy. But because it's difficult, every harvest feels especially precious. After eating the grapes and taking a short break, Sagla begins to gather the family's blankets, quilts, and other bedding. She folds them one by one, then packs them to carry to the stream for washing. Sagla has raised 7 children on her own. She works hard every single day, working under the hot sun during the day, and at night she's busy mending clothes and taking care of the small details of her children's lives. Even though conditions are tough, she always wants to give her children a warm and clean home. Sagla carries a large bundle of blankets on her back. Zaynab follows closely behind her. The two of them arrive at the stream. Here in the flowing water, they will wash these heavy household items. These items are what the whole family sleeps on. Whether they are clean or not affects the health and comfort of everyone in the family. Sagla finds an ideal spot for washing. This area has open water, and the current is steady. She also finds a large discarded tire here, which is perfect for scrubbing the blankets. Although the tire can be used as a washboard, the hollow part in the middle is a problem. The blankets sink in when she scrubs, so she has a clever idea. She gathers stones to fill the large hole in the middle. This will make the washing much easier. After solving the problem of the washing platform, the mother and daughter begin to work together, washing these heavy quilts and blankets by stomping on them with their feet. After stomping for a while, Sagla continues to scrub them by hand. This kind of work is pure physical labor and requires a great deal of patience. Zaynab has learned by watching her mother since she was little. Household chores have been an essential part of her upbringing. She already knows what to do, how to help, and how to work together. In this family, she is not the oldest child, but she is the most hardworking. Their clothes quickly become soaked. They have to stand in the water to wash the blankets. This is life in the mountains. They can only rely on their own resilience and hard work. After the blankets are washed, they still have to be carried back to dry. They work together on the most difficult step, wringing out the water. It can easily make your arms sore. But the freshly washed blanket is incredibly heavy. Zaynab pushes hard from behind. Sagla uses all her strength. And with great effort, she gets to her feet. They haven't gone far when they encounter a herd of goats up ahead. It's not clear who they belong to. They seem to know the way as they head towards the water. Calm and unhurried,